Ladies and gentlemen, the City Council meeting will start in 1 minute.
Mayor McClellan. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Radner. Here. Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 5 is the consent agenda. These are routine items that are voted on without discussion. Any council member can ask to have one dropped and considered separately. A, regular council meeting minutes of November 19th, 2018. B, zoning board of appeals meeting minutes of October 23rd. C, corridor improvement authority meeting minutes of October 18th. D, retirement board meeting minutes of July 23rd. E, parks and rec commission meeting minutes of September 12th. F, request to accept the planning commission's recommendation to approve a special land use for Yeshiva Beth Yehuda, 14,390 10 Mile Road. G, request to accept the planning commission's recommendation to approve a special land use for Henderson Automotive, 14,608 Mile Road. H, request to accept the planning commission's recommendation to approve a special land use for a restaurant that serves alcoholic liquor for Eddie's Gourmet Restaurant, 25920 Greenfield Road. And I, licenses new and renewals is submitted for December 3rd. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Support?
Second.
Okay. A roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried. Any elected officials here wishing to speak?
I see 2 elected officials.
Aha, I see 2 judges. Welcome. Glad you came. Item 7 is a special recognition presentation for Robert Barrett, the Director of Technical and Planning. City Manager Eric Chungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I have the honor of choosing Director Barrett as our Employee of the Month for December. And Rob has worked at the city for many years now. And for the first part of our reinitiation of this program, when I first came here in 2012, I would not let the management staff, like Rob, get this award and this distinction, because I wanted to make sure that we were honoring our other employees. But Rob is one of the first few in that exempt management staff level that is getting this, because Rob does so many things so well around here and is the jack of all trades and is managing our building department, our code division, etc., our engineering division, etc., in, you name it. He's really the master of all things, but he does it with such a great attitude, and his demeanor, his professionalism is just second to none. And I want to give a real-life example of the real-life impact that a great employee like Rob has on the city government. We recently have had, and part of it is on the agenda for this evening, but we recently had an announcement regarding a new girls' school being built, private girls' school being built in our community. And that project is a very large project, believe it or not. It's a project that exceeds $20 million in investment in our community. And when you build a new school in a local unit of government in the state of Michigan, you have the option of either A, using the state of Michigan's building resources, building review resources to get your permitting process approved, or B, you can use the local unit of government, which is typically more expensive because we don't have the luxury of spreading the cost over a larger geography. Well, in this case, the cost was about $130,000 more for a $20+ million project, and guess what? They chose our city to review these permits because Rob and his staff in our building department are doing such a great job. And that's money that we otherwise would not have received that goes to the bottom line, that helps us pay for public safety services, etc. And I have Rob to thank because he leads that effort. I also want to thank Rob's wife, Donna. Is Donna here? She's in the parking lot hiding. But I want to thank her for letting us borrow Rob for countless evening meetings and hours to help this community along. I also want to ask my second in command, Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee, to step to the microphone and say a few words as well.
Thank you. It is easy for me to sit up here and talk about Director Barrett and all the wonderful things that he's accomplished. I've worked with him for over 20 years now, my entire career here, and anytime you need anything done, he's always been the first to jump on it. When I first started, he was an engineering tech. I was the assistant city engineer, and any new project, any new thing that came up in the city, he was always like, I want to do it. Let's do it ourselves. So, for instance, the swimming pool. We knew nothing about swimming pools, but we received a grant to renovate our swimming pool, knowing that it would be a couple $100,000 for a consultant to come in and run that project. Rob was like, no way, I'll learn everything I can about it, and we'll do it ourselves. Through the years, Rob has saved in this community hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and his willingness to step up to the plate, always do the job in-house, do it the right way. One of the things that he does, we work very well together, but we're very different people in the way that we conduct our work and our business. I'm always one to, like, let's go to the next project, let's keep moving on, and he's always like, let's make sure we're doing it the right way, and we've had countless arguments over the way to do things. In the end, we always resolve it in the best interest of the city, and I really thank him for keeping that tight control over doing things the right way and making sure that we're not missing anything, and making sure we're doing it the right way. So I always, and I can always say that I appreciated everything that he's done. I've learned as much from him as he's ever done for me, for sure. And I appreciate everything that he's done and accomplished for the city of Oak Park. So I want to personally say thank you and say that he's definitely deserving of this honor.
Congratulations. Now, Rob, I think you've had some family members join us in the audience. If you wouldn't mind introducing them. And then council members, if you would please join me for a photo where we can totally embarrass the family and Rob.
Thank you. I do want to say just a couple words. I'm humbled and honored to be nominated for this award. It does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to my family that are here. My wife, Donna Blake, and his girlfriend, Lauren. As Eric mentioned before they got here, they support me and understand why I'm out here and why I'm away from home so much. Yeah. Humbled and honored. It's really easy with the leadership at the podium and my fellow directors, and especially the employees of technical planning, which when you got a team like that, it's easy to look good. Thank you.
That's beautiful. I witnessed Rob Barrett handling a difficult situation with a resident. So professional, so kind, so caring. Just, he cares about each of us, and we are just blessed to have him on our staff. I threatened to tie him down to his desk so he can't retire, but you probably have other plans for him.
Thank you.
Years ago, I was sitting next to him at the Mount Boulevard Association dinner, and I said, okay, whenever we have a dinner, I'm sitting next to you. He's great, a great sense of humor.
You guys have to come up too, you know, this isn't just them. Let's,
Thank you.
Mayor, if you would flank me here, and let's, Rob, we'll do one.
Thank you.
Last one, then we'll break the guys under. Oh, there's our talk later, I know. That's enough for that. That was just the thing above the wall.
We need to move over something.
Don't turn in red.
We all need to be centered on the city seal.
Just that one.
All right, here you go, everybody ready to smile?
I think it's hard to find someone who has technical skills and people skills, and that's Rob Barrett. So,
Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
thank you, family, for coming out. Next, we have a public hearing. Mark Holtz will, from the Clerk's Department, will come on up and introduce this
Evening, everyone.
evening.
This public hearing is in reference to an application for a Class C liquor license from Eddie's Gourmet Food, Inc. It's doing business as Eddie's Gourmet Restaurant at 25920 Greenfield Road. The proprietor, Mr. Eddie Hanna, is present this evening to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. Everything that's required by the ordinance has been complied with. All the requisite fees have been paid. The Planning Commission approved the special land use at its meeting on November 12th. I believe the council earlier this evening, as part of the consent agenda, approved the site plan. All of the requisite sign-offs from the various departments have been obtained. So at this point, unless the council has questions or objections, it's ready to proceed.
Right. And I think he was close to a religious institution, and that institution signed off.
That's correct?
And so it's fine with them. So we, yeah. Oh, yeah. Next, we will, thank you so much, Mr. Holtz, and we will now open the public hearing. This is for public comment on the request by Eddie Hanna, doing business as Eddie's Gourmet Restaurant, 25920 Greenfield Road, for the issuance of a Class C liquor license. If there's anyone here to talk about that, this is your time to come on up. Hearing no comment, we can close the public hearing. Now we need a resolution approving a Class C liquor license to Eddie Hanna, doing business as Eddie's Gourmet Restaurant, 25920 Greenfield Road.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion or questions? Maybe Mr. Hanna can come up and just tell us what his plans are.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome.
So I've been in Oak Park for probably almost 35 years, and I've been working with Peter Kay back in the day, back in the 80s.
Is that on? That's on, right?
Is it on?
Is the little green light on?
Yeah, it's on.
Yes, good.
Yeah, and then I worked for Giorgio's back in the 90s,
Oh,
and I've been at my own for, 16 years now.
wow.
But overall, I've been there like almost for 35 years. And since I took over, business is really good. I mean, people come from everywhere to support us, you know what I mean? And everybody asks me, we sell a lot of pastas, and everybody like, I need a glass of wine, I need a glass of beer, I need a glass of
Yeah.
wine. So then, I thought about it, you know what, let's try it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I'm hoping, we can get it, and
That's wonderful.
Just to make
Thank you
everybody
so
happy.
much. Any questions for Mr. Hanna? Thanks both for, yes.
Well, no question, just a comment. Every time I go by there, the parking lot is crowded.
crowded. It's crowded now.
So I'm
So
assuming you have very good food
well,
there.
thank you, thank
Because
you.
it's always busy.
Yeah, we are
7
very
days a
busy,
week.
and everybody loves it.
I can testify
Well, thank you for
from
being
personal
on our-
experience.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Are we ready to vote then? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. We can now have wine with our pasta. Next item on the agenda is bids. This is a request to award bids for the 2018 45th District Court Building renovation project, M684, for the total amount of $1,532,301, and to further request that an appropriation from the city's building fund balance of $42,674 and the city's general fund balance of $12,572 be used to complete the roofing on the community center and library. Is there a motion to award this bid?
So moved.
Is there support?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Who can answer questions on this? 12. Let's see, 12A. Okay. Did I read it correctly that the city portion of the roofing went over, a little over budget?
So the city's portion of the building was over budget. We did receive bids to do the full scope of the roofing that we wanted to do, even though knowing that the budget, during the budget process had been cut. We originally requested $300,000, it was cut to $200,000. We put the whole scope on there to see what kind of price we would get. We feel that $255,000 for the portion that we want to do is a good price, considering where prices are on bids now, and especially for roofing. Having worked with Frank Rewald on that bid, we felt that we wanted to recommend awarding the entire project. So it will do most of the roofing on the community center and the library.
Right. And is this project including new seats for the courtroom and?
Complete gut and renovation of courtroom 1. So courtroom 1 will be all new.
Are we going to miss the old seats?
But one thing of note is that the request to take the appropriation from the city's building fund balance will wipe out that fund. That was a fund that we used to build City Hall and Public Safety. We did have a balance in there for money that we had saved on that project, and we would like to use it and just deplete that fund. So that is why that is kind of a strange amount to take from that fund. It will deplete that fund.
We haven't seen pictures of what it's going to look like, or colors, or what the seats are going to look like, or anything like that. Is that possible?
We didn't have renderings done with this project, so they cost more money, and I think that Nancy's been involved from the court. Nancy Waldman has been, court administrator, has been involved in the process and has been has been involved in the selection of all materials and colors and things like that. So the court has picked out what they're going to use for the project.
Okay, super. Can you come up and, yeah, tell us?
Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Nancy Waldman, the Court Administrator for the 45th District Court. A lot of the work that's going to be completed is more structural work. There really are only a couple of areas that are more cosmetic, obviously primarily the complete renovation of the large courtroom, which will thankfully require taking it basically, down just to the walls. The existing paneling wall will stay, but will actually be refinished. And there will be sort of a really nice warm wood benches that will go throughout. The stadium-style teal and blue seats are going to be replaced for all time with lovely wood benches. There'll be a little bit of, it will be ADA accessible, so it really is going to be taken down to the studs. There'll be some ramping to make sure that it's accessible for witnesses, for jurors, and bring it fully into compliance. There will be a new area for the judge and the court reporter that will, have to be reconfigured based on the ramping. And that actually won't be in wood, but it'll be a coordinating sort of laminate tone. It will be carpeted throughout instead of just sort of in a variety of areas. There'll be brand new area for the jurors to sit in, which will provide them a little more room so they're not completely squished on top of each other. Overall, it should be highly functional and significantly more comfortable for everybody involved. There's also going to be a small renovation in the front lobby that's going to add a security office right into the front lobby, which I think will do really nice things for enhancing the security for the building. It's going to allow a security officer not only to be present at the front door and screen people as they come in, but also to have sort of a backup officer there some of the time when they're not in the courtroom, to give much better visibility and backup support for the person working at the front desk, who will have the ability to look both down the long corridor of the courtroom as well as directly into the lobby area. So we think that's actually a really nice design element that we've been able to add in as well. As part of this also is a full renovation of the court security measures. It will include completely replaced state-of-the-art cameras, which will capture live time video and save it for a period of time. It will also add alarmed doors, exit doors for the employees. We've always had concerns about the exit doors because someone could walk down there, and even though we screen everybody who comes into the building, the employee entrance and exit isn't monitored and doesn't have proper coverage. And so now if someone leaves without using the swipe card, an alarm will go off. So that if somebody's trying to sneak somebody in to the courthouse, at least there'll be a trigger and some alarms. There'll be panic buttons added back into the courtrooms to provide, a greater measure of security for everybody. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the cosmetic and functional sort of, I guess, programmatic changes to the building, as opposed to, Kevin can speak more deeply to some of the heating and the cooling and the roofing and some of the other.
Something about enlarging a window.
Well, so interestingly, yes. What used to be the city manager's office and the mayor's area at the back of the courtroom, which is now the probation department, has never had an exit. It only has one way out, which is the way you go in. So if there's ever an emergency situation where there's a dangerous situation in the building, and that could be from anybody getting in, seeking to do harm, or from a fire, there was only ever one way out. So what we've done is taken one of the offices and we're swapping out a window, so it's an emergency exit, ingress or exit window. So in the case of the emergency, there's a way out. It's really a much safer option for everybody back there.
Nice. It will be, when do you expect the work to be done?
To be done, that's actually a good question. We're going to do it in 2 phases. Some of the interior work is going to start in mid to late January. That'll be completed. And Kevin, what was phase 2 is more in the spring. I mean, hopefully by fall, everything should be complete, barring something unforeseen.
Nice.
Thank you.
Speak to any
Yes.
other.
I was
Anybody have
going
any
to.
questions before I?
Any questions about the court and its renovation?
Can we It's good to see it's finally going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm not in the court anymore ever, but it's good to know that it's finally being done.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a vast improvement for everybody who not only comes and uses the court, but for the people who work there. It'll be a much safer and better environment.
Right. Long overdue. Thank you so much.
I did want to just add that Judge Apple and Judge Gubo are here, and I want to thank them, along with Nancy Waldman. We had a great cooperative effort on putting this together. We put together a longer-term plan, even, of what improvements that need to be done over a period of time, and I think it worked out very well. I'm very happy with the work also that OHM Advisors did, along in cooperation with Frank Rewald, which Kurt Ryder is here from Rewald. I want to recognize him, that we were able to keep the project within our budget. As I'd mentioned earlier, prices have gone very high. They've skyrocketed in recent bids that we've seen. It was a concern as we were going through this, as we were working through it, but we did end up keeping them within budget. So I'm very pleased with the way the bids came in, and I think that says a lot about working with Frank Rewald also.
And aren't they moving that top room into an office on the first floor?
Correct. The second floor will be removed. There's a lot of structural issues with that area, and that will be removed, and those offices will be moved, which is Judge Gubo's office, down to the first floor.
Okay. Further questions? No? Any other comments? You're excited.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
They say that now until the dust starts, and then it's not convenient for a while. But we appreciate their patience.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Great news. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we need a vote.
Oh, Madam Mayor?
Yes?
Sorry, I didn't know if we were just doing questions about the court. I do have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the roof. It is a little bit over budget for the roofing, for both the library and the community center. I was wondering if the any of that cost for the roofing will be expected to be paid through the library fund, or library budget?
No, the answer is no. It will be paid as shown here, which we're going to use up the city's building fund that we had remaining, and then also a general fund balance of $12,572.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich. Yes. Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
I believe we live to see the day. There are no ordinances, nothing from the city attorney. City manager, Eric Tungate, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I'd like to ask Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee to go over 15A for me, please.
Thank you. Attached are proposed change order number 1 and payment application number 2 for the 2018-19 Catch Basin Line Replacement Project, M687. The change order is an increase due to the discovery of additional locations where structure adjustments were required and where additional pavement replacement was needed. The project is replacing sewer pipes in several areas throughout the city. The project is now approximately 89% complete. It is recommended that proposed change order number 1 for the 2018-19 Catch Basin Line Replacement Project M67 to Lacaria Concrete Construction be approved in the amount of $1,711.16. It is further recommended that payment application number 2 for the same be approved for the total amount of $71,851.94. Funding is available in the Water and Sewer Fund for this project.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion or questions? Yes.
I just have a question. So the only thing that we were not aware of is the change order, the 171116. Correct?
I'm sorry?
So that's what that's the only thing you're asking for. That's the change, just the 171116. Everything else on here is budgeted and was accounted for.
Yes, the whole project was budgeted. Even the change order it still falls within the budget, but I am asking that the change order be approved and the payment be approved. Correct.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're at call to the audience. Please give us your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. Mr. Barrett has already left, and I would like to have thanked him for all the years that he's been there with a smile on his face, patience in his heart, helping us all through the elections. No matter what our problem was, no matter who had problems, he was there. If he didn't have the answer, he got the answer, and we corrected it, and he went on to the next problem. He was always great and always courteous. And sometimes he'd sit there and go, okay, we can get through this. And he was always there. So he's not here to hear that, but
Kind of you to say.
yeah, I've been there since '94, so I've had a lot of years with him. So I want to thank him.
All good experiences.
And I've
Thank
been
you.
a pain in his butt too, but that I want to thank him for.
Okay. Anyone else?
Good evening, Nadine Coleman, 22160 Sussex Street. I'm the president and founder of the Sussex Street Block Club, and we're back again for the second month. And the question that we have is the lack of communication. No one has gotten back to us. We have received no status on that house at 22185 Sussex Street. It's going on 10 years that we have complained. No one, and I find it just absolutely incredible that the county commissioner is the only person that has communicated with us. So I'm here just to ask, we feel that we're being ignored.
Can we never? Please, tomorrow, call the city manager.
Okay, well, I understand Andrea Mack that sat in for me last month, that she came to your office, Andrea Mack, that she visited your office, and so we're just kind of at a loss. We don't want to be a nuisance, but certainly
Like to resolve this
we would
issue.
like to resolve this issue. I have neighbors constantly calling me, and so how do we have any kind of credibility with the Block Club?
Give the city manager your phone number.
Okay,
as we will call.
248.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I'll give you my card. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So,
Just coming for the entertainment value. Ha! Okay. All right, well then, we're on to call to the council. Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
good night, everybody.
That was quick. Councilmember Burns.
Thank you for coming out. Good night.
Councilmember Weiss.
Just a couple quick recreation updates. Over the summer, the Recreation Department and the Parks and Recreation Commission conducted a park bus tour. So we went around to visit several of our local parks to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we have to offer with our parks. Unfortunately, a lot of our parks need some work, but obviously everything costs money, so it's a matter of finding the funds to support it. We did discuss that Dewey and Lessinger Parks were areas where we want to focus investment in the future, and so currently are looking for private and grant funding to help for park improvements in those areas. And then we also had a couple of, and I just want to shout out to our Recreation Director, Lori Stasiak, for all of her efforts in leading a lot of our summer activities. We had over 9,060 total participants for all of our summer programs this year. Female-only swim attendance was up 57%. Male-only swim attendance was up 96%. And then overall participant increase of 18% for the pool from the year 2017. So we're seeing a lot more people using our facilities and participating in the program, and I think our programs, and I think that's a huge testament to our recreation staff and all of their efforts. So thank you for that. Happy Hanukkah and have a good night.
Yeah. Councilmember Rich?
Thanks for comment. Have a good night.
Final word, I was at the Youth Assistance annual meeting, and we are reconstituting the board, and we're looking for mentors. Sometimes the main difference between someone who makes it out of a difficult situation and someone who doesn't is some adult, related or not, a caring adult in their life. And so we would like you to be that caring adult in someone's life, and if you have time and energy, if you'll contact me or the city manager's office, we'd love you to be a mentor. The other thing is the census, the 2020 census is coming. I was shocked to find out that in the 2010 census, 25% of Oak Parkers didn't participate. So what does this mean to us? Well, state shared revenue is based on the count that the census has. So that means we left 1/4 of that money on the table. So we would love to form a committee to get the word out about the census, to see what the issues are, why people don't feel comfortable participating. If you'd like to be part of that committee, please call the city manager's office, and we'll keep your name and contact information. We'd love to help us solve this problem. Thank you so much. Happy second night of Hanukkah. Good night, and there's no further business to come before this council, so we are adjourned.